Welcome back to Let's Play Rule the Waves 2 as France, starting in 1920. And here we're about to start a new convoy defense battle against our fresh opponents, Italy. Let's accept this and see what happens. And what happens is the Italians decline. Well, that's a little bit of an anticlimax, but I'll take the VPs anyhow. And another one, a cruiser battle. Okay. Well, let's accept that too. See if they'll stand up and fight for this. Ah, yes, they will. Let's swap across, and here we are to the south of Crete. A nice little cruiser force, 4 ships of the Jean Bart class, 25 knot light cruisers. I'm hoping that's not going to be a problem. I'm hoping we're not going to meet a lot faster ships. 4 destroyers from mixed classes, but they're all 34 knotters. And we are stuck out far away south of Crete, a long way from our nearest bases over in Tunisia. As you can see, dawn was a short while ago. We are 9.5 hours until dusk. So it's a pretty exposed position, to be honest. I'm going to request some cap from land-based air, but that's quite a way off given that the fighters here only have a range of like 100 miles. You know, this is 1920s, early 1920s planes, and their ranges are poor at the moment. So I'm going to let the game unfold for a little while and see what we get. I do like that you never have to wait very long. What's going on here? An unidentified ship, as ever. Because this war has come across quite quickly, my crew quality isn't as high as I would normally like. So I just have to bear that in mind and hope that the enemy aren't all elite crew. So let's Squad max. Let's take our destroyer screen and instead turn them into a support force in line ahead. Put them on the AI just for now. I'm going to turn for base if it will let me. No, it's not letting me. I will turn for base because I'm unhappy that the Italians are here and my home is over here. So ideally, I'd like the Italians to be on this kind of side. Some ships identified from them, so yeah. 30 knot light cruisers. This might not go well. I mean, they're only 5-inch, whereas and 1-inch armor, so ours are heavier. We've got 2 6-inches and 10 4s with 2-inch armor, but nonetheless, I'm not happy with the speed disadvantage. So let's see if the force clarifies. Obviously, there's a we've opened fire, so this is 27 knots, still 2 knots faster than us, but 8 6-inch guns. Yes, it's a bit of a monster for a light cruiser of this era. I'm hoping that we will just turn the names off. When they're in a dense force, it can be quite hard to spot. So it looks like we've got 3 cruisers against our 4. And they finally resolve into some sort of force, and they seem to be running away. Okay, a bit unexpected. Well, if they want to run away, there's really not a lot I can do. I'm just going to have a quick check on the gunnery. Let's pick the Ely here. So a very low chance of hitting at the moment. So a small salvo, I mean, that's the trouble with having only two 6-inch guns. You're always going to get a negative mod for your 6-inch guns. Target size is small. We're at maximum speed, so we're getting high vibration. Our tech level isn't great. The target is evading us. 4 ships firing at the same target. Medium guns firing at a destroyer. Why are we firing at a destroyer? And because we're a light cruiser, we're another mod from that. So we should have a 4 1/4 chance of hitting, and we're actually getting a final 0.79 chance. So I'm not expecting many hits. And I don't think the secondaries are firing at the moment. Oh yes, they are. Similar amount of negative modifiers. So nothing literally to write home about. I'm sorry, but for this first game, I think it's not going to be a hugely exciting one. Let's just have a look at the tracks. All right, well. So they legged it, and then they swung round and zoomed off to Rhodes. So there was never any chance that we were going to bump into them. So that's the end of that. And a draw. Say no to all. The German fighter, rumoured to be the best. The British are supporting the rebels in Morocco. Well, I can't do too much about that. Yeah, I'll take the prestige hit. I'm not going to get into a double war. Merchant ships sunk. Nothing at the moment. Well, it's not surprising. 180 from blockading the enemy. Now that is exactly what I wanted. Italy is comparatively easy to blockade, and it means there's no point putting your submarines onto prize or unrestricted. So I hope the submarines will chip away at the French fleet with some bonus sinkings on the side. But yes, if we can maintain our blockade, then that will be excellent. We go to the map and just check out the forces. We have 262 and the Italians have 187. So yeah, actually easily blockading. We could actually move a few bits back. Currently we have nearly nothing in the Northern Europe. We may need to put some radar protection if the Italians send raiders out, but there's no need for us to send raiders out. We may put some heavier ships on trade protection in the Mediterranean to try and stop their raiders. Back on episode 1 of this series, Raptor 4916 asked innocently, "Why didn't you convert your disappointment battlecruisers into CVLs?" Oh. And there was a bit of a penny dropping moment as I realised I'm an idiot. It never occurred to me to convert the Chanzy class of battlecruiser into light carriers, because you never get battlecruisers that are less than 16,000 tons. But of course the Chanzy is 15,400. That's really unusual, but really good spot. So here I've taken the inadequate battlecruiser that I've refitted as a light pocket battleship, for want of a better term, and I've equipped it as a CVL. I've cranked up the speed to 28 knots, which you can just about manage by engines up to speed. I've stripped out the armament except for a modest heavy anti-aircraft armament, only 7, and a decent set of light anti-aircraft. And I've managed for all of that to get 20 planes onto the flight deck at a cost. And the cost is 43,000. That's double the cost of converting the pre-dreadnought into a slow light carrier. Now, the plus side is this carrier can operate with my other ships, my battlecruiser force, and indeed can be part of the carrier force of the future at 28 knots. So it's a great long-term investment. The other light carrier was very much designed just as a research platform to push on carrier operations down in the research tree. So do I want to spend 43,000 or 2,200 a month? I currently have a monthly maintenance of just under that. So I think that sounds good. Let's do this and convert this poor, slow battleship into something that I can use in the long term. I mean, fundamentally, I've wasted 3,000 on refitting this as a pocket battleship. I've wasted nearly 2 years in not converting this earlier, and I've wasted 22,000 on converting the old slow light carrier. Boom. Sack me. So yes, I'm definitely going to redesign this. I don't have the money to do both at the moment, but that's fine. So let's press on and see what the next battle is going to be. A fleet battle. Hooray. So let's see if the French accept this. The French. Let's see if the Italians accept this. We will attack enemy ships for our air priority. And here we go. This looks pretty fleety to me. Just change the scale out from zoomed in. And wow, here we all are. I'm going to change the ships so I can see the capital ships. So, down here we have the Gloire and the Dersay in a little scouting force. Over here we have 3 battle squadrons. I'm quite impressed. My maximum speed for my battle fleet is only going to be 20 knots, and there is every risk that I'm going to be outspeeded, if that's a word, by the Italian battle fleet. We need to sink 2 ships. We are safely near our bases in Tunisia. I'm going to call for cap from land base and see if that happens. Bear in mind the range of fighters is tragically small at the moment. In fact, seeing this, I kind of regret that I haven't equipped Tunis as well as Bizerte with fighters in order to provide cap over the Sicilian Narrows and the Narrows with Sardinia. The all-important time is past 3 or nearly 4 o'clock in the afternoon. 5 hours and 40 minutes of daylight. That's a little bit narrow for really achieving any decisive results, and obviously I'm not super keen. Here are my submarines forming a nice little trap, so perhaps they'll pick off something. Let's zoom in. I assume, yep, I don't have any tactical controls, so let's just run this until something happens. Lots of reconnaissance planes taking off. I do wish this side bit was a little wider. Let's max the speed. Okay. And let's pause that. So air reports here, some destroyers, some battlecruisers, and all of that. So let's rearrange this a little bit. So for the battlecruisers, we have a supporting division and we have an anti-submarine screen, which is all very nice. I'm going to turn the battlecruisers round. I'm going to set their speed up to 20 knots. And then let's go over to the battle fleet, because that seems to be getting quite disorganized. For example, oh, okay. Of course, we have our slow light carrier here. I should have sent it off for a little bit of reconnaissance. So I'm not liking that pattern. Distance of 300 miles, it's never going to be able to do that. Let's do 120. I don't think you can even do 120. I want to keep a heavy cap, and let's order that. Ideally, I'm going to take that off and put it under my control, because I don't really want it getting too detached from the battle fleet. Here is the battle fleet, as you can see. I mean, you'd have thought this was 1900 rather than 1920, the way this is all going. I mean, Charles Martel, where on earth do you think you're going? Your core. Oh, so their lead formation is the light carrier. No, bring these people across. Hope that it's not a recreation of Victoria and Camperdown. They're going at 20. Oh, they're going at 16. Okay, no wonder. They're going at 21. I suppose they're trying to catch up. Now, guys, can you form, you know, like a line? At all? This is also distracting that I'm not actually looking at what the battlecruisers are doing. So they sighted someone. Hooray! They sighted a light cruiser and unidentified. So we definitely have somebody around. I'll put this back under IA and hope it doesn't go crazy. So, light cruisers are opening fire. Crank these up to max is 26, so we'll take it to 24. The trouble with these large fleet battles, they actually require a lot of shepherding. So we have the battle fleet in something that looks like a line. Hooray! And we are firing gently on these French light cruisers. I put the CVL onto Matic and it just goes bonkers. I know it has to do with its air operations and everything. Speed, weather is limiting to 22 knots. That's true of these guys as well. Yep. Well, that's kind of good, because it might nullify any Italian speed advantage, although it obviously means that our battlecruisers effectively become battleships in their own right. I'm just going to start to turn the line in order to bring up their broadsides. So here's some people. That's good. So we'll just straighten that out a little bit more. And yes, 2.84. That's, you know, not too bad considering where we are with the range. I don't think we need the sighting range. Gun ranges. Okay. You can see now the battlecruisers are actually in quite a poor place, and without the speed advantage, they're quite possibly not going to catch up. There are these unidentified at the moment. I wonder if they are battleships. Marco Polo class. Let's have a look at their ships. Ooh, yeah. Okay, only 26 knots, which is good, but in a 22 knots battle, that doesn't really matter. 12 13-inch guns and a 9-inch belt. I mean, a lot of my battleships only have 9-inch belts. So, yeah, that's not to be sniffed at. Nice, modern, mid-era, second-generation battlecruiser. I'm going to take the light cruisers that are currently scouting and turn them into support with line ahead. Now the Italians are coming up, and if we look at the coast, yeah, I don't know if they're trying to get back to Trapani and its minefields, which obviously would be sensible if they're very heavily outnumbered. I'm just going to continue to turn in this direction and see if we can head them off as the range closes and as more of these guys start to get themselves into action. I mean, I have no idea. No idea what these people are doing. Oh, well, they think they're in line abreast, so let's put them in line ahead. Line ahead. Let's AI them. See if that helps. See what Charlie's doing. Yeah, he's saying they are actually in line ahead. So difficult to control these big fleets and keep them coherent. I've been reading John Brooks's account of Jutland, where he goes through every single signal done by all the admirals involved, Jellicoe, Beatty, and all the squadron admirals as well. And the effort to keep the fleet coherent and not break it up too much was really hard. As suspected, those unidentified vessels did turn out to be the Italian battle squadron, and the battle cruisers are retreating through the battle line. Let's see what the Italian classes are like. 12 inches, 12-inch armor. Again, good solid design. 20 knots. Well, that's nice to see. Let's see the Napoli. 18 knots. Oh, well, that's unexpected. So actually, we have a 2-knot speed advantage over them if they keep their fleet together. So that's very nice. 12 inches as well. Well protected though, 12-inch armor. Down here, some more Italian older battle cruisers. 31 knots. I say older, is a 1920, but it's 6 12-inches at 31 knots. 11.5 inches is for the armor is fair enough. So it's a fast, tough nut, but slightly undergunned. Interesting. Going to zoom out and see where the battlecruisers are. As I'd expect, chasing. I'm going to send them this way, just in case the Italian battle fleet, for whatever reason, decides to turn down this side. Straighten out again. The range, 12, 13,000. 4% hit chance. I mean, that's pretty good. we should start to see some straddling. So indeed, we have straddled, and we've straddled again. Well, they've straddled us. Boo. But, you know, that's the cost of sailing straight. So, what are these guys doing? They're shooting down there. They're only getting like under 2% chance of hitting. Okay. And the Charles Martels still aren't really in the action. I'm gonna take these lads off AI because I've sort of lost confidence. So I've just noticed that La Touche Treville is going really slowly, 14 knots. Guys, what on earth has happened? There's nothing in the log. Its maximum speed is 24. It's one of the Chanzy classes. So, yeah. Come on, people. Get a move on. Have a look in the full log. I've had a look in the full log and I can see no reason why it's going so slowly. Let's hope it can speed up a bit, because it's getting in the way. It's forcing the Richelieu out of the line, and obviously it's going to be problematic for Charles as they come along too. See if it's picked up speed at all. 17, okay. Well, something weird happened there. So we are straddling with our Bouvet. Oh yeah, Bouvet, 15-inch guns. And we're keeping up around about a 4% chance. So not breathtaking, but fair enough. Obviously the range has come down as the Italians have closed on us. My CVL. Let's see if we can do a strike. Right. So we have one fighter. Well, that'll be no then. Perhaps it's done everything itself. I mean, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Be nice to think that. It is 1921. You can't have too much expectation of planes. Billy Mitchell's sinking of a German battleship at this time notwithstanding. So let's just check out the range, because this looks pretty close. 10,000. Okay. It's as bad as I feared, but I'm going to change course just to stop it closing down too much too quickly. I still would love all the rest of these guys to properly get into position. But Touche is still lagging behind at only 18 knots, despite it actually being the fastest ship in that group. Weird. And Charles. That's their max speed. And now the Italians are turning away. Okay. You do get the sense that they are fleeing. Now, because this division is just all over the place, I'm thinking about independently moving it, really just to clear the line for everybody else. I'm going to bring the episode to an end now. It's been a frustrating battle so far, and in fact I was tempted to kind of just skim over it because, you know, we can move past the dull bits, but this is part of Rule the Waves too, and I mean, it's very true. Coordinating large battle fleets in an engagement like this is really difficult. I've taken out the log and done a little bit of analysis. So we started at 10:15 with lots of planes launching, including 4 from our CVL. And then at 11:10, 7 fighters took off to be part of the cap. And then at 12:20, so 2 hours later, the Linois sights an unknown ship. So the fleets actually come into some sort of contact, but it still takes a fair degree of sightings and shooting at cruisers and what have you before, at 12:46, an enemy battlecruiser opens fire on us. So 1:45, it all really begins to kick off. We return fire a few minutes later. The green is us, our battleships and battlecruisers shooting. Actually, the battlecruisers are miles off. And as you can see, even in those first few minutes, it's still very, very confused. At 5:1, one of their Marco Polos starts to straddle us. And just before 1 o'clock, we sight their battleships. And so this is really when the battle proper begins. But all through this time, I've been struggling to get the 3 battle divisions to just form a line. Just a good old-fashioned simple line. Few more straddlings, no hits until just before 1 o'clock. Obviously, we can't tell what the Bouvet did with its 15-inch gun on a Marco Polo battlecruiser. You'd think it's not going to go well, but sometimes these ships can be pretty tough. Just after 1 o'clock, our cap lands, so it took off 11:10, lands just short of 2 hours later. Much more straddling going on, us and them, and then more towards them than us. No real hits until 6 past, and they score a hit on the Patrie. The Patrie is the sister of the Bouvet, 15 inches. And then it takes another hit too. And then it takes a third hit in the engine room, which is classic of that kind of pattern. When they've got your range and are sailing straight and steady, it can hurt. We then start to have a go at them. We got 1 hit there. They've replied with 4 more hits. So it's not going our way at this time. It then quietens down, and at 13 minutes past, we start to register some hits back onto them without them hitting us. Hooray! And we continue to do that until the poor old Patrie is double thumped, taking a hit in the Y turret, which mercifully didn't do anything, but taking a hit in A turret that causes a flash fire and burns out both A and B turrets. And frankly, we're lucky that it didn't sink the whole ship from blowing up. And that's where we are up to just now. Zooming out, we have the CVL wandering around, lurking around there, which is fine. And we have our 2 battlecruisers way down to the southwest. My plan, such as it is to get the battlecruisers to go this way in case they come down this direction, is to use the 1st Division and carry on up this way, dragging the van of their battle line that way, and then to bring these guys across, and hopefully in doing so trap this lot in between these 2. And if I can do that, I can probably sink a couple very nicely and achieve my objective. So see you for the next episode, which, by the way, might be next week, because I'm going to take 4 days holiday and go and join a bunch of men and go old style with a board war game. This is Hood Strikes North, part of the Great Campaigns of the American Civil War by Multi-Man Publishing. Either this or another one in the series will be thrown onto the table, and it will be nothing but cardboard counters, dice, men drinking beer and talking absolute bollocks. I can't wait. So see you after that. Thanks for watching.